a state representative, Arizona District 25, have 4 children, including a daughter whom they adopted from Armenia. Despite being recommended for a late-term abortion due to multiple disabilities, their daughter is now a cherished part of their family. A dedicated volunteer with secular pro-life, Crystal is passionate about special needs, adoption, and orphan advocacy. Please welcome Crystal Kupper.
Hello, marchers. My name is Crystal Kupper, and I'm a journalist and a musician living in Surprise, like Kim said. One of my earliest memories of life was standing at a rally in Eugene, Oregon with my mom, holding a sign that said, "Abortion kills children." She and my father, who are here in the crowd today, she and my father were foster parents for several years to drug-affected infants and toddlers, a group that many pro-choice advocates label as deserving of abortion. My family also adopted my 2 sisters from foster care, one of whom was conceived in rape, another group that often gets murdered before drawing a first breath. So yes, I was raised in a decidedly pro-life household. It was a great thing. And the pro-life world has also played a significant role in my journalism career. But those reasons are not why I am pro-life, or at least they don't capture the entire picture. I'm pro-life because I'm against the killing of innocent humans. You most likely are too. The underpinnings of this belief are wildly diverse. You could be a devout follower of Jesus, as I am. You didn't see that plot twist coming when they said I work with secular pro-life, did ya? You could be entirely secular, as some of my best friends in the pro-life movement are. You could be a woman or a man. You could be a professional athlete or paralyzed. You could be a conservative or a liberal or something in between. You could be old or young, Ivy League educated with a plethora of PhDs, or simply a graduate from the School of Hard Knocks. Those things point to a major tenet of the modern pro-life movement that often gets ignored. We are wildly diverse and growing more so with each passing year. I know this deep within my soul because of something that happened in 2016. That's when my husband, Nick, now a retired Air Force veteran and Arizona State Representative, his office is right there. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. In 2016, Nick and I adopted one of our 4 children from Armenia. I feel the need to tell you that this is where the Kardashians are from, not Nadia Comaneci. That was Romania. She gets really irritated if you don't know the difference. Guyana, who's here today, right up front, was 5 years old then, and she had been recommended for a late-term abortion because of her severe spina bifida. Her twin sister was completely healthy, a fact that the doctor took as good news. You can just keep the healthy girl and kill the defective one. Nick and I thank God every day that Guyana's first parents said no to abortion, even though they knew they couldn't keep her because of her intense medical needs in a third world country. They strongly believed that an American family would want to adopt her, and they were right. Guyana gave me a real big clap on that one. Nick and I did want to adopt Guyana, but not because we're inherently better people than anyone here. We're not especially closer to God. We are not all that well educated. We're not that well off. Have you seen the pay for Arizona State Representatives? We adopted her because we knew that her life was valuable, disabilities or economic status be danged. And if we knew that, and we were able to provide the medical care and the love she needed, why wouldn't we want to adopt a kid with severe special needs? Guyana's quiet voice, as it turns out, was powerful enough from a wheelchair to speak to more than 4 million people during an episode of American Ninja Warrior in 2018. Yes, my husband is that cool, and yes, my daughter is that cute. It's been strong enough from a hospital bed to inspire at least 4 families that we know of to adopt kids with severe special needs. It's also been inviting enough that Nick and I have come to know the wealth of viewpoints within the pro-life movement. Because of Guyana, we have a real-time education on how to best utilize the motto of today's march, many voices, one cause. Here's a shock. Not every pro-lifer is a straight, white, Christian, old, wealthy, manly conservatives. Who knew? This fact is actually a strength of the pro-life movement, right? That the truth of all humans, the truth of the value of all humans, no matter their stage of life, can be recognized by literally anyone with an honest intellect. And it's about time that not only pro-lifers recognize that, but also the mainstream media, of which I'm not part of, don't worry, and pro-choice advocates. So there are about 13 million pro-lifers in America, for example, who profess no faith at all, according to research. These can be called non-traditional pro-lifers, as can other groups like progressives, Democrats, Gen Zers, of which I am also not a part, people of color, non-heterosexuals, and more. Because the truth is simple. You don't need religion, whiteness, lots of decades under your belt, or any other label to be against the killing of innocent humans. And as the percentage of non-religious Americans grow, it makes sense that there will be more non-traditional pro-lifers in the movement too. I'm challenging us to see this movement growth as a good thing. As a longtime married Christian who has never dyed my hair, never had more than one boyfriend, and never been to a club, my pro-life persuasion may not convince someone who isn't like me. But my atheist friend who votes for progressive candidates has a far better shot. The radical pro-choicers and their friends in the media are playing on the narrative that pro-lifers are just a bunch of religious old white men, and that's false. Take a look around here today. The pro-life movement is so much more diverse than what the pro-choicers try to label us as, and we know that what they purport to be truth is just flat out false. If you're a traditional pro-lifer, if you're an elderly white male who loves Jesus even more than your wife, that's fabulous. Welcome. But if you're not all that, if you're a woman or Hispanic or gay or a Democrat or a college student or a feminist or any other number of labels, the pro-life movement can be your home too. The mainstream media and radical pro-abortion activists ignore this fact, but that doesn't make it any less true. Plus, it's super fun to throw a wrench in their house of cards argument. And they can say, oh, but only this certain group believes that way. And you get the chance to say, actually. We can do this by creating connections with pro-lifers who are a little different than our home group. So for me, my home group is, redneck Christians who have only been on a date with their husband. I had a very Mayberry childhood. So if you were, focused on the family, Adventures in Odyssey in the 90s, you're probably my home group. But for me, connections outside of my home group have come by volunteering for a group called Secular Pro-Life for the last several years. There are others like them, like the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, Democrats for Life of America, New Wave Feminists, and Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising. You're not going to agree with these people on every single topic. I don't agree with some of my best friends in the pro-life movement on a lot of topics. But we do agree on this one basic thing, and that is so crucial for expanding the pro-life movement in America. Another way is come by sharing my family's adoption story with anyone who asks, which is often. They always ask, why did we adopt? Could you not have your own kids? And we get a chance to say that we went to the orphanage and we picked out the cutest one. Well, we did. She has a very satisfied smile on right now. She's turning 14 soon, and she loves being told that she's good looking. Even people who admit they're pro-choice, they still tell me how beautiful my daughter is and how happy they are that she wasn't aborted. They often ask about her story, and I'm able to share, yes, she was recommended for a late-term abortion just because of her spina bifida. And because she has a healthy twin, it really demonstrates that she was targeted for her disabilities and not for any other reason. That really throws a wrench into their house of cards for their own arguments, and it does it in a nice, polite, respectful way. Her presence plants a seed in pro-choicers' hearts while also connecting to non-traditional pro-lifers, because no one can resist Guyana besides her little sister, who finds her incredibly annoying. There is a space for all sorts of adopters, for example, all kinds of foster care, big brothers and sisters, all types of practical assistance to women in crisis pregnancies. You don't have to be named after a saint to help a pregnant woman locate free diapers or housing. You don't have to have a Bible degree to make friends with an agnostic. Try it out, do something pro-life together, then tell others about it. I have so many friends that when you see them and you see me, you would never think we go together, and yet we have such a wider reach because we are so different from each other. So you don't just have to be friends or advocates or coworkers or anything with people who are just like you. It's really fantastic to make friends with these non-traditional pro-lifers. And if you are a non-traditional pro-lifer here today, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're part of the movement. And I am happy to join arms with you in any way we can to save babies and make life better for families in America. Because I think if we realize the power of millions of unique pro-lifers and actively harness exactly who and where they are in our workplaces and communities and our online spaces and our nation, our movement would explode in efficacy and social reach. I at least owe it to Guyana to try, and I encourage you to join me. Thank you.